Yo, what's up, dogs? I am here to talk about Godzilla Minus One. Now, I went and saw this movie like a week after it came out here, and I saw it on a Tuesday because my good friend, who I often go and see movies with, refuses to go and see movies any other day other than Cheap Night Tuesday, okay? So I had to plan it for Tuesday, and I went to Oakville to go and watch it with him because he lives out in Toronto, so that's kind of middle ground for us. You know, got the IMAX tickets, got the concessions, made sure I could sit close enough so I could read because, you know, getting a little older, I don't have my glasses yet. We're getting there where I might need glasses to go watch movies, but whatever. That's a bridge we'll cross when the time comes. Packed house, like packed. I couldn't believe how busy it was for a Godzilla film, and honestly, loved it. Loved every single minute of it, man. I was like, wow. It was another one of those movies where me and my friend we just sat outside for a couple minutes while he had a cigarette, and we were just talking about Godzilla, and we were talking about other Godzilla movies too, because we've seen a lot of them together. So it was just like, you know, chatting about Godzilla and what we liked and what we didn't like. It was nice, you know, it was a good time. And I think everybody else who watched it too enjoyed themselves, you know, and it just seemed like it was like the right type of movie we all needed at this point in time. It was just a nice movie about like humanity, you know, and fighting against all the odds, you know. It was good, you know, a good story, good morale boost, perfect for Christmas, you know. And so with that, I have my list here of I've changed it up. I've taken out the ugly because really there's no ugly. You know, it's either good or bad or silly. So this would be the first review with the silly factor in it. And like, here's my notes. There's nothing in order here. And I'm also going to warn you guys right now, just a quick spoiler warning up in here somewhere, because I might talk about the story, and I don't want to talk about too much of the story because I really want you going into this film fresh. You know what I'm saying? It's a really rewarding film. I think so. I think it's a good experience to enjoy going in with no knowledge at all about this film. So I'm going to keep it very bare bones. Here we go. Let's start with the good, okay? So I enjoyed the human story that was told to us in this movie. Now I know you might be surprised because the last 10 years of Godzilla films, we've all been kind of like, I hate the humans in this stuff. Give me more monsters. However, this one I felt like really gave us a damn good balance between monster human. You know what I'm saying? The flow was so good where I didn't feel like we got more of one or the other. And I actually was genuinely interested in the character, our hero that we follow, who is named Kochi. I hope I'm pronouncing this last name correctly. Kishima, I believe that's how it's pronounced. And our hero is this very like downtrodden, I want to say scaredy cat loser who was a kamikaze pilot who didn't kamikaze. So he's a disgrace to the village or the town that he comes from as well, because he didn't fulfill his mission, his like God-given mission to kamikaze in war. And trouble seems to follow this guy wherever he goes, and he's dealing with a lot of stuff because when we were introduced to him as a loser, right? He didn't kamikaze, and then we see him unable to pull the trigger on the island Odo when they are under attack by a mysterious monster, and he's driven with this like guilt of failing not only in war but also failing the mechanics who all died except for one on that island, right? He couldn't pull the trigger. And so this is something that eats away at him throughout the entirety of the film. And it's really interesting to follow this character who really nothing good happens to him. Like when he's back in town, everyone hates him, but has a child forced upon him from a woman named Noriko Oshi, who isn't initially a love interest at first, but he looks like he's going to protect them as sort of a way to gain honor back for himself, more of a spiritual level where he's trying to fix himself, but he can't. The ghosts of war are really haunting this guy, and like the friend group that he makes around him see it. Like there's moments where has like calm and peace, but then there's moments where it just gets to him. The ghosts get to him, and it keeps piling on and on. And he keeps showing like he's a failure. And it's just such an interesting story. And it's a very rewarding story from beginning, middle to end, that you're actually really invested in this character and you want to see what's going to happen. Like, the entire time you're just like, what's going to happen with this guy, right? And that is really cool. And I feel like they struck a really good balance between human and monster throughout the entire film, because at the moment when you think I've had enough of the humans, which really never happens, Godzilla shows up. Godzilla is my other favorite thing, and not even the second favorite thing. Really, Godzilla is the number one favorite thing in this whole freaking thing. I love Godzilla. But Godzilla is a menace in this movie, and I love it. Like, he doesn't feel like a hero. He doesn't feel like he's there to help and save the day. He looks like he is there to kill everyone and anything that is in his vicinity. Like, he does not care. He has no allegiance to Japan. He's like, I'm killing everybody because I want to, and I can, and nothing on this earth can stop me. And it's amazing to watch because he is a terrorizer. Like, he's crazy. Like, it's so awesome. Every second that Godzilla shows up on screen, you're kind of like, wow, this is terrifying. And the people who are being terrorized by Godzilla genuinely sell it. You know what I'm saying? And there's a scene in the movie I'm just going to mention, which is an awesome scene, which kind of reminds me of Jaws. Is where Godzilla is terrorizing the four men in the little rickety boat, this wooden boat, because they're miners, or what is that? I can't actually remember the name of their job, but they go around blowing up the water mines, and so this little rickety boat is trying to outrun Godzilla. But that's also where they learn the weaknesses of Godzilla and how Godzilla can regenerate and stuff like that. So it's a very good setup for the future and a good callback when we get to the end of the movie as well. They use Godzilla so damn well in this movie, man. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. So, like, the effects on Godzilla win. The sound design on Godzilla also a win. Like, Godzilla just looks great every time he's on screen. Like, you could tell they put the money in the effects on Godzilla and said, hey, it's okay if everything else is a little weak, because there is some shoddy SFX work in here. Where, not shoddy, but you could just tell it's not really well done comparison to everything else we've seen in life, right? So, but it doesn't take away from the movie at all, because Godzilla makes up for it. You know what I'm saying? And now I just want to talk a second for the sound design of Godzilla, because when you're watching this movie, I'm waiting for the Godzilla theme song. That theme song is so iconic, and as soon as they drop it, which is when he attacks the city, it's so powerful. You know what I'm saying? Just that whole intro, that ba 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 ba, and I'm sitting in my seat. I had a little small fist pump. I'm like, the king is here. Let's do this, you know? And that's when you start rooting for Godzilla. It's just, and then like the sound design of his laser atomic breath powering up, beautiful. Like it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I loved it. I loved it so much. And I guess like one other thing to add in here for things that I liked, Godzilla's atomic breath was absolutely devastating. Like, it seems like this is like the most powerful version I've ever seen of his atomic breath, because it just like obliterates everything and nothing can survive. It's absolutely a menace. I loved it. I just loved it. It was so good. See this film in IMAX, or the best sound you can possibly see it in, because the sound design alone, worth it. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, like they really sell the terror of Godzilla in this film. I don't know what else I liked about this film other than like the whole movie is absolutely enjoyable, okay? So let's get to the silly. So the silly, okay? Okay, the silly. Okay, there's two scenes in this movie that are silly. The first one is, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, is when we see Noriko's death. I laughed, because the town is getting obliterated by the atomic breath, and you just see the waves of devastation. And she comes and saves our hero, Kochi, pushes him to the side, and then she takes the brunt of the blast, like the reverb blast, and flies off the screen. Absolutely hilarious. And when we... absolutely hilarious, okay? And of course you're supposed to go, yeah, she's dead. Sure, but we all know if you've watched anything, anything by the Japanese, you know you're going to get the classic cheesy ending. You know, but still, I laughed at it. It's so silly. The other silly thing I wrote down here is how do the people at Odo Island know of Godzilla? Like, there's a legend of him already. Like, they say, like, the villagers named him already, Godzilla, because like we see a little Godzilla at the beginning. He's not his full form yet. And I was kind of sitting there, I'm like, so did Godzilla exist before the atom bomb dropped? Like he's already been around, but he's in his smallest form. So there is this like mutant dinosaur thing that is out there. But then once the atomic bomb hits him, he grows. But that doesn't make any sense. Or does it? I don't know. I put it down silly because I was kind of scratching my head going, how do they know about this guy? Like, they already gave him his name and everything. So I thought that was kind of weird that a small fishing village already knew about Godzilla and named him before anyone else. So, yeah, and they had a legend for him and everything. So I thought that was kind of silly and out of place, you know? And for the bad, honestly, it's the cheesy ending. However... it's not bad because realistically, it earned it, okay? It earned the cheesy ending, the happily ever after ending. It earned it. I was on board from beginning to end, and it just made me laugh. It's not bad. It's silly. That's it. Honestly, it's silly. But it earned that ending, and I thought it was just funny because I'm like, I haven't seen a classic happy ending like that in a very long time. So I was kind of just like, wow. But I enjoyed it. That's the thing. So I guess it earned it. And I can't be mad at it. So I'll allow it. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't be mad at such a corny ending. And I honestly, I want a sequel. When I left the theater, I'm like, give me another one. You know what I'm saying? Same director, same crew, same story. Like, whoever wrote it, like, bring it all back together. Give me a sequel because I want to know what happens next. So that's the end of the good, the bad, and the silly. And honestly, like I said, this movie is 99% good and just a couple percent silly. And if you can handle that, you're going to love this film as much as I did. And like I said, I give this a 4 out of 5 easily. And when it comes out on physical media, day one purchase for me. I look forward to rewatching this film. The movie, I thought about this movie for days afterwards. Like, I was like, wow, that was such a good movie, you know? So I look forward to rewatching it again. And I recommend you guys give the movie a chance when it comes out on video on demand. Stream it, download it, buy it, do it. You are not going to regret watching this movie. Trust me on that one. And yeah, that's it for me. I'm going to review Wonka still and Aquaman, but those are going to be a little later because I'm just trying to get those done. Like, I'm not trying to get those done. I still have to watch Aquaman. And then I'm doing my best of and worst of 2023, which will be later in January. And then, yeah, we're getting back into the new year, all the new movies. So I might do an anticipated movie list as well. So we'll see. But aside from that, that's it for me. So whatever movie you guys are watching, I hope you're loving them and digging them. Peace out, everyone. Bye.